Alrighty, y'all, it's your boys Zxous, and we are back. Your boys back to give you guys some good juicy insight, some good juicy info, just some good juicy tips. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the best teams with replacements to like use for fast progression, fast clears, to get far in Nikke for certain content and all that stuff, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys different teams, telling you guys where these teams are useful in, why you should be using these teams, whatever. And then I am going to try to give you guys replacements for some of the characters, because I cannot expect everybody who watches these videos to have all the characters in the game like myself or some other players may have, right? So if you find this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, and if you want to change your team and try it out and tell me how it goes in the comments down below, feel free to. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Let's try to get 2 subscribers and 50 likes on this video, and let's go ahead and talk about it. So the first team is what I consider to be the best team in the game, right? Obviously Litter, Crown, Cinderella, Red Hood, Rappy, my bad, and then favorite item Helm. This is not regular Helm. This specifically is favorite item Helm. Now, the reason why I have it in this order is because obviously I want, Crown and Litter use their burst skill first, then I want Cinderella to use her burst skills first, and then when we rotate to another burst 3, I want it to be Rappy, right? This team is very effective. They have a lot of buffs. Obviously Cinderella and Rappy are the strongest characters in the game, and then having the strongest supports in the game. This is why I call this the strongest team in the game, because they have the strongest supports and they also have the strongest DPSs, right? Helm is on the team because Helm could support them every burst rotation. Not only that, with her favorite item, she actually does become a very good flex burst 3 character, meaning that even though she's not using her burst 3, she still does a lot of damage. Not only that, now because she does heal all allies with every normal attack, that helps out Crowns with her buff, where she gives an attack damage buff every 7 seconds for like the entire game. Basically with Helm, that 20-second attack damage buff right there, as you guys see on skill 2, activates when recovery takes effect, is permanent with Helm on the team. So yeah, this team is very powerful. It should get you to clear almost everything in the game. The only content you wouldn't be able to clear with this, I assume, is just anomaly interception, right? And it's not even like you wouldn't be able to clear it, it's just that obviously anomaly interception is element based, so you would probably be able to get far with a team like this depending on what element, what anomaly interception you're doing, but obviously anomaly interception is catered to elements and stuff like that. So there is that. Now on to replacements. Obviously for your DPS, you can really replace your DPS with whoever you want, right? It doesn't have to be Cinderella at all. It doesn't have to be Rappy at all. You can have, Scarlet there. You can have A2. I used to run this team a lot actually, right? Scarlet and A2. It could be Iron and it can be freaking Maiden, right? Because why not? It can be whoever you want it to be, whoever your powerful DPSs are, it could be them, right? Those 2 are just for whatever your powerful DPS slots are, right? In my case, it's Cinderella and obviously Rappy, right? For your this character right here where Helm is, you can obviously replace Helm with Naga, right? Naga is, everybody knows that Crown and Naga is the go-to. I would suggest if you are running Naga, make sure Crown is in the 1st or 2nd slot, because when everybody is full HP, Naga only heals 2 allies, so she's always going to heal the first 2 allies on the team rather than everybody else on the team if everybody is full HP, right? So having Crown in this slot or this slot with Naga is kind of a must. I always just put her in the 1st slot, so it's a guaranteed no matter what, because let's say for example Cinderella has low HP but everybody else is full, right? Naga's gonna then heal up Cinderella, and then again the character in only the 1st slot, no longer the character in the 2nd slot. So having Crown to the far left with Naga is kind of mandatory in my personal opinion, right? If you don't have Naga, another good replacement would be obviously the new Mana. Mana is a great character there who also does heal. When you basically, she heals every normal attack, right? Every 10 normal attacks when she has this effect, right? When she's in this metal Y effect, basically, Yeah, and the only way she loses that is if an ally is out of commission, right? And it wouldn't be bad to run Mana as well because she also can do damage to an extent and she also has a revive. So she might actually be better than Naga in some cases. So yeah, the Mana has revive as well, which is helpful as well. So that is the first team, right? Actually, I didn't talk about replacements for Crown and Litter, right? So for Litter, it's kind of whatever burst 1 you want. I always just use Litter because she's like my go-to burst 1. You can use any good burst 1 if you want. Exio's favorite item, D Killer Wife is a good option as well. Rouge is always a good option, especially with Cinderella. Rouge would be a very good option in this case right here. Dorothy, if you need to, for real, right? Whoever you really want to here. For me, I just use Litter. Sometimes I do use Rouge depending on my team, but with Cinderella, it would not be bad at all, right? So there's that. And then for Crown is like the one character that's kind of hard to replace because there's not many characters like Crown, right? My best options for replacement for Crown would be obviously Mari, right? Or Grave. These are like the closest you can get to Crown. Personally, I feel like you can obviously run Blanc and then, switch out your burst 3 flex unit for Noir if that's what you want to do as well. But it's really just like really hard to replace Crown. But yeah, my best options would be Mari or Grave for that slot. Or basically what you already know, being Blanc or Naga with Tia or Blanc with Noir, those teams, right? So yeah, let's go on to the next team. Now this is the next team that obviously I would recommend to use. I actually do use this team. I know this team looks like a Kraken based team, which to an extent it is. I don't actually use this team for Kraken. I have been using this team a lot more lately for just general content, right? Lost Sector, Simulation Room, Campaign, just these, general contents and stuff like this. I feel like this team is very helpful because obviously it's a wind-based team, right? That's one. And then Scarlet and Mana are meant for each other. So a team like this where you have Scarlet and Mana meant for each other is always just going to work. It's just like filling out the team surrounding those two. Obviously, Blanc and Noir are great characters till this day. I would say they've fallen off just a tad bit if you're comparing them to some of the new supports we have, especially the new solo supports. Because remember, Blanc and Noir need to be together for Blanc to get her full potential. Well, you don't need to now more because Rouge is in the game. But obviously they need like a partner for them to work. It's good, right? This team, Scarlet does her crazy damage. Depending on how you build Mana, she could do damage. Like my Mana does crazy damage against bosses she's type advantage against, right? Because I have elemental damage around her, right? Elemental damage is here and here as well, right? I have elemental damage surrounding her, so she does a lot of damage depending on who she's fighting, but in general she is doing damage regardless, and she is powerful. Again, Mana is a character that I will value a lot more than a lot of the other burst 3 support units, just because, or not even support units, but like sub DPSs, just because of the simple fact that 1, she can heal, which is a great factor, but 2, she revives for free, right? Her revive, it has been so clutch for me in just general content that it has gotten to the point where I do put Mana on the team, right? I just got Helm's favorite item today, right before this video I recorded. I just got Helm's favorite item today. I haven't even used Helm yet, right? But I do know I'm going to be switching out Mana on that first team that I showed you guys with Helm, right? But before, Mana was a character I was always using. But essentially, this team should work as well. It will help you guys get far. The heals are great on this team. The sustain is okay on this team, right? You're not really like tanking much here. You're just really going based off of the fact that you have healers on your team and that you have crazy DPSs from Scarlet and Mana to an extent. If you don't want to use Mana's burst 3, I would recommend using Noir's burst 3. Don't get me wrong, Noir has an AoE as well, so for a campaign, it does come in handy when you're trying to just get a quick nuke on some of these mobs. I always find her burst skill to be very helpful for me. Again, it could be based on the build. My Noir has full overload gear, but yeah, Noir's burst skill does nuke as well, so you could just do this, right? You don't need to use Mana's burst skill if you don't want to. But yeah, is there replacements for this team? When it comes to Mana, the only replacement for her would be Alice. And again, Mana's job on the team is really to support Scarlet and then to do the damage of the burst 3. The only other character that really would be able to do that is Alice, right? You do lose your revive, you do lose all these other things, but yeah, Alice is the replacement there. And then for Blanc and Noir, obviously you can replace them with like Tia and Naga if you want, or even Mast and Anchor, the brand new one, right? You can do that if you want, especially Mast and Anchor, because Mast and Anchor are actually meant for Scarlet as well, right? Not specifically Scarlet, but the buffs they have are buffs that Scarlet is actually going to benefit from, which is the distributed damage. Not many characters have that, but Scarlet does have that. So the brand new Mast and Anchor, I don't actually have them. That's why I'm not showing you guys them, but those are also good options, right? So there is that. These are just two good teams that I feel like are really going to be helpful for you guys, right? And some of the replacements. There's really no replacement for Scarlet on this team because this team is really surrounded by Scarlet. So there's that as well. So yeah, next team. And this is going to be the last team I'll show in this video. I'll probably do multiple of these videos, like a part 1, part 2, and part 3 throughout like time, just to help you guys like learn about so many different teams, right? I think there's so many teams in Nikke that a lot of people are just not trying out or don't even know to try because they don't know our things. So this is going to be the last team of this video. But like I said, if you guys want me to do more of these with different teams that are not in these videos, or like the video you're watching right now, let me know and I'll definitely, you know, do more of these videos with just different teams and stuff like that. But the last team I'm going to be showing you is basically the full electric team, with Crown, of course. Rouge, Cinderella, Maiden is really just a powerful lineup. Cinderella, Rouge, Maiden, very powerful. Both Maiden and Cinderella are very strong characters, but the reason why they're so crazy is because they're defenders that actually skill off of HP, right? They skill off of HP to get their crazy damage, right? Both of them do. So the reason why you want Rouge in the middle there, like Rouge 100%, is because Rouge gives the most max HP I've ever seen. She gives like about 50, 60, 70% max HP for free, right? For free. And even if you wanted to, like, oh my god, it's actually crazy how crazy this team is, right? It really is going to help you in a lot of content. Solo raid, union raid, not really like PvP. I mean, you can use it in PvP if you want, but I wouldn't use it in PvP. I don't think I would use any of these teams in PvP. Maybe the second team, actually. Maybe the second team with Scarlet Black Shadow. But I wouldn't really use any of these teams in PvP personally. Campaign, Lost Sector, Simulation Room, really just anything but PvP this team is going to be helpful in. It really is just going to be very helpful, right? Obviously, because 3 of them are electric and the main 2 DPS are electric, you do have Summer Anise on this team who will be giving an attack buff to electric code allies every burst rotation, and a reload speed buff every burst rotation, which is helpful. And then again, Crown is just basically Crown, where she's giving an attack buff to allies who use their burst skill every full burst rotation, and then she also has your attack damage buffs and stuff like that she be giving, and her reload speed buff. That's why you want to use her. Now, replacements. With this team specifically, you could actually replace Crown with the old Mast, because Mast also gives max HP without increasing HP to 2 allies with the highest attack. In that case, it would be literally your 2 DPSs, right? Being Maiden and Cinderella, which again, they get stronger based on how much HP they have, right? So having a full electric team like this is actually going to be very wise, because you have your buffers, Rouge and Mast buffing with HP, and then you have Summer Anise actually buffing with just electric, right? So this is actually a very good comp as well, right? Is there any replacements for this team when it comes to Summer Anise? Not really. I mean, I always put Ein. The difference is Ein doesn't give an attack buff to electric code allies, she just gives an attack buff to herself. So she she becomes a good burst reflex unit, in my opinion. She does. So you can always just use Ein in that slot, or if you don't want to use Ein, you can just replace her with any other character that is a good flex burst 3 slot unit. You could actually put Privity in there as well. Privity will cut your HP in half, right? Or not your HP, your your ammo capacity, but she gives a reload speed buff, so it's not too bad. But you could do that as well, or again, you can just use the brand new helm, who is going to also be a crazy buffer and a good flex burst 3 unit, right? But in my honesty, I would probably use Serenice. This is a good team right here as well. Like this is the next best thing you can use with this team after Kron, in my opinion, right? But this is the team. So these are just 3 powerful teams that I think a lot of people should try using with their replacements. If you don't have it, I've tried my best. If you don't have any of the replacements as well, then just use whatever you feel like is the best in your opinion. Like DPS wise, if you don't have any of the replacement DPSs or whatever, just fill in that character with your best DPS, and then you should be fine. But some of these teams, like the last team was more catered to Scarlet Black Shadow. This team is specifically catered to Cinderella and Maiden Ice Rose, hence why I didn't switch them out with replacements. And then the first team is just a general base team for anybody in the, like any player, right? You just switch out the 2 DPSs with your strongest DPSs and use those supports, and you should actually get far. But hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 with different teams catered to different characters and stuff like that, or just multiple parts of these types of videos. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.